So this is Jake and Rebecca Haro, the parents of 7-month-old Emmanuel. They were exiting the Riverside Superior Juvenile Courthouse this morning, where I was able to track them down and try to ask them questions about the disappearance of their son. Investigators say they're no longer cooperating. Their attorney says they are, but of course I'd like to ask my own questions. They refused to speak with me, instead pointing to their attorney, who was in the courthouse. I did try to speak with Vincent Hughes, but he was busy getting to a next trial.
It's hard to believe that we are already a week into the Emmanuel Haro case. It seems like just yesterday, when we were all watching Rebecca lie her ass off on the news. Those were the days. But yeah, we still do not know what happened to Emmanuel. We don't know where Emmanuel is. And we don't even know when's the last time someone saw this poor child alive. I'm still waiting on an answer for that question. Now, as you guys know, if you've been watching the videos, I've been speculating, I've been saying that I believe Emmanuel has most likely been gone for at least a couple of weeks now. However, we did get a clue today. We did get a clue today about a possible sighting of Emmanuel about a week or so before he was reported missing. Now, if this is true, this is good news, because at the very least, maybe it hasn't been as long as I thought since something happened to Emmanuel. But there's also, some kind of creepy parts to this news as well. Because Emmanuel's father, Jake, he was seen trying to buy a saw at a hardware store. And apparently he was asking about a saw, but they didn't have one in stock, and he left. So, considering what we're dealing with in this case, of course, that's kind of gotten people a little freaked out. But there's a woman in the area that has been covering the case, following up with different leads. And she says right here, yesterday morning at 8:30 a.m., I followed up on a lead in the whereabouts of missing baby Emmanuel. A week prior, the couple was reported spotted carrying a baby on the hip, pushing a stroller with another child in the Do It Best hardware store in Beaumont. The father was reported looking to buy a large Sawzall, but they didn't have it in stock and left right after that. The store has not confirmed this. If it is true, that means baby Emmanuel could have been spotted alive at this time. So supposedly this was about a week ago. Now, we don't know for 100% fact if this is true, but this is what some of the employees are saying. And look, we don't got anything. This is all we have. This one little clue, unfortunately, this is the only thing we got about a possible last sighting of Emmanuel. Because the grandma hasn't said when's the last time she saw her grandchild. We haven't heard from anyone that's seen Emmanuel. It's really weird. Now, before people get too excited, though, I would like to point out that both Jake and Rebecca, they have a lot of kids tied to them, okay? There's a lot of kids around them. For example, Jake, he has a hobby of hopping woman to woman. He'll find a woman, they'll get married, they'll have a baby, he'll hurt the baby, and then he hops on to the next woman, they'll have a baby, he'll hurt the baby, and then he'll move on to the next one. Dude gets married and stays married for a couple of months, just brutalizes little kids, and then he hops to the next woman. And I don't know why women keep taking this man in after he has a history of hurting kids, but hey, it is what it is. But Jake has a lot of kids tied to him, and so does Rebecca, okay? And they got family members with a bunch of kids as well. And honestly, I don't think anyone truly knows the real number of kids these two have. They've been tied to all types of previous relationships. It's a wild situation. Their family is wrapped up in a lot of crazy stuff, to say the least, and we'll go over a lot of that stuff in future videos, and we've already been over a lot of that stuff in past videos. The point that I'm trying to make here, though, is that just because a baby was spotted with them, that doesn't mean it was Emmanuel. Who knows who it could have been? But obviously, the part that people are focusing on is the fact that Jake is out here trying to buy a saw. And immediately, because of the case that we're dealing with, the type of case we're dealing with, people's mind automatically jumps to worst case scenario. Like, I don't even want to imagine what he may have been trying to do with that saw. But we got to keep in mind that when he was spotted trying to buy a saw, supposedly he had a baby in tow. That may have been Emmanuel. So I don't think the saw was for Emmanuel if he really was sighted and Emmanuel was with them. But I understand why people are kind of jumping to that conclusion because of the type of case we're dealing with here. And if you look at Jake's history, he's a complete monster. So I don't put anything past these people at all. Not for 1 second. But you guys let me know what you think about these details down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.